8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, acceleration.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Last No Meal. We have something amazing. We have the 46th episode of the Cyberpunk 2077 Community Podcast. Today with me is the usual crew, starting from the right. Madqueen, how are you?
Greetings, Earthlings. I'm loving the comments for the intro.
I had to do it. I just had to do it.
No, it's sick. Your intro is sick. And I love the reaction of the people.
Were they like, oh, is this Cyberpunk gameplay? Because I was afraid. Yeah, because I was afraid. Next up, we have the Neon Arcade. Welcome.
What's up? Hello.
Hello. And also Subsidian from the Triple S League.
Hello, everybody.
Now, hopefully, we don't have any technical difficulties. Hopefully, everyone can hear us. I think this should be okay. Now, before we actually go into Cyberpunk discussion, we have some amazing news from R.Talsorian. They're doing actually a charity stream for the second time, and they're going to be role-playing through the Witcher tabletop RPG. And an exciting thing is, among the other amazing people, there is going to be Doug Cockle there also present. Also Cody Pondsmith, as I believe he's the leader of the game.
Explain who Doug is.
Oh yeah, Doug Cockle is also the voice
May not know.
of The Witcher. I mean, yeah, of Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher games. So you have Geralt of Rivia playing The Witcher tabletop RPG. So that's really cool, actually. And they're gonna be going live on the 23rd of February from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. EST. And I left you all the links down below. You also have a link to the previous stream, so you can check it out. And they're actually, that's a charity event because they're donating the money to Special Effects organization, if I'm not wrong. And they focus on helping people with disabilities, play video games. They actually develop technologies. I think I said this correctly. So it's
awesome.
It's also a really nice cause, and hopefully you will join on the 23rd of February. So yeah, actually nice. That's actually a really nice idea, don't you think? To have all of these people.
Have they done this before? I feel like they've done this a couple times before.
They
Something
did it,
similar at least.
Yeah. They did it last year. And it was like for 4 hours. I actually really enjoyed that. And I know people have been asking us a lot to do a Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah,
session.
people have been asking a lot to play the tabletop.
Yeah, we should probably also get onto that soon.
Do you know what we need to do? We need to pick a plane, and then kidnap Mike Pondsmith to direct the game.
Then he's just gonna kill your Cyberpunk. What's the point in that?
Sorry?
Yeah, then he's just gonna kill your Cyberpunk right off the bat.
Well, I will die happy.
Don't they have like an event? Was it on? I don't remember which event, but Mike Pondsmith actually runs a game, and he's like his main objective. Oh yeah, and his main objective is to kill your characters.
Yeah, they said they wanted to make shirts. Mike Pondsmith killed my Cyberpunk character. Whatever happened to the squish track? Kimberly is asking.
Oh, the squish track. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the squish track. Squish that like button, by the way.
Yeah, like that's how you do a squish track. You squish the like button.
If we get 100,000 likes on this video, we'll drop it. How about that?
What? No.
If we get 100,000 likes,
I think that's an unrealistic enough name for me to feel comfortable with it.
Don't challenge the internet. You never know.
It's Yeah, you never know. It's like just recently one of the voice actresses that I kind of follow, she's like, "Hey, at 50,000 follows, I'm gonna do a face reveal." I'm like, "Are you prepared for that?" And she's like, "I'm sure I'll have time to prepare for that later." I'm like, "Oh, it comes up a lot faster than you think sometimes."
I'm honestly now really sad that I revealed my face before. And it's like the 20th video I did. It's like now I could just say, yeah, I'm gonna do a face reveal. I don't know.
Well, you
that's-
don't do it often enough, so you could probably trick some of your subscribers into thinking it's your first.
Oh yeah, actually that happens. Whenever I...
Well, you don't specify is the first. It's a face reveal, but it's
Yeah.
the first time.
Yeah.
But for some people, maybe this is going to be the first time.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. A lot of people were like, especially when I did the Netflix video, because I pull off the camera and it's like, oh, so that's how you look like. Your voice does not match your face, man.
Really, I do think it does.
I think it does.
Yeah, because that surprised me. Like, how do I look like that?
I think that everybody has these comments the first time they show their face.
That's true.
I was creeping at Neon's comments when he did the face reveal for the trailer. No, the gameplay reaction was it? Or the trailer reaction?
I get a lot of those comments.
It was your reaction for something, and
think
it was your face reveal, and I was curious what people were going to say, because I'm always curious about the comments on the face reveal, and everybody was like, "Oh, your voice doesn't seems what to look like." It's like, oh, so typical. That's so typical.
Yeah, I did.
I thought I was the only one, so now I feel better.
Now everybody has them,
Okay. good.
except me, because I've been showing my face since the beginning.
That's true. That's true.
And the funniest thing is, because we did also the reactions for the trailers, like, I don't know if, I think you, Madqueen, were featured in like one random video, like a compilation for like something. I know I was like, oh my god, not my face here.
Well, it was a little creepy, but it was like, oh.
Halver has the best comment in the chat. I actually thought you would look like Dracula. That's the best one. Now that you mention it, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually true. I've been getting a lot of that. I also,
You last known, you're gonna have to cover the new Vampire the Masquerade game.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to. You have to.
yeah,
And
because
you're gonna have to like accentuate that accent a little bit, maybe do a little bit of cosplay for the live stream, you know?
Maybe they'll just hire you to do the official voiceover.
oh, I don't know. I don't know. No, based off of the accent, no. Oh, give me the blood.
Oh, weren't you Russian?
Oh, we also have Peks in the chat. Thank you so much for all the music. Thank you so much for the amazing songs. But yeah. I've been like every time, like when I started doing these, people are like, "Are you from Transylvania?" Like, actually, I might pull up a character here on YouTube.
Maybe that's an issue, not exploding.
Oh yeah. Maybe I should cover Bloodlines more. I know a lot of people said me, you would be great for the role playing, for the tabletop. Like, really? But yeah. Anyway.
Cookie made a great question on the comments. Will Cyberpunk 2077 inspire interior design on houses to look more futuristic? Well, they said that they put a lot of effort on differentiating styles on architecture, and this leads me to believe that the decorations that we're going to see inside are going to be very elaborated. And I believe that it can, if the game is successful enough, it can create a trend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in a sense.
So we will all run to buy a new sofa.
But
Cyber sofa.
Yeah.
But when you look at the design in general, and like the biggest shock probably for people, especially people who were not really into Cyberpunk in general, that Cybertruck. Because it was like, it was inspired by that, but it was different. It was completely different from what we have today. So I asked myself a question. Okay, now this vehicle, the Cybertruck, is crazy. I mean, when you see it on the road, it looks crazy. I love it, but it looks crazy. compared to the other cars. And then I think, okay, how was back in the day when like the new design for cars actually started arriving? Because when you think about it, for the first cars and how they looked, we've come.
Yeah, was it like the same shock factor?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So maybe
Possibly.
like, yeah.
Yeah, but in the designs of the cars, there's a lot of other factors into considering, like, you know, the wind, like how fast the car is supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you're going to use the car for. A Jeep is not the same than car for the city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has the Cybertruck even been successful, like based off of pre-orders or whatever?
think
Has it
so.
seen a lot of pre-orders?
Elon Musk's Cybertruck,
I think
this security car whose window broke.
Yeah, the keynote was not very good.
No, not at all.
yeah. But I'm thinking like it looks like just like an empty canvas in a sense. Like people are gonna, especially people who buy that, want to just, you know, tune it up a bit. That can actually look
Yeah.
crazy.
That's actually a good point, yeah.
Yeah.
See all the mods for it and stuff.
Yeah.
But even like the font of the actual, if you go on the website right now, Tesla/Cybertruck, the font of this looks a lot similar to the Cyberpunk 2020 font.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that. 'Cause at first I was like, what? Why is this?
Very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought, what is this collaboration that we didn't know about for some reason? Because that would be the craziest. And imagine like someone just buys that car and he slaps like the big Cyberpunk 2077 logo on it.
Dude, that'd be cool.
Oh my god, it would fit. But now when you think about that car and you think like of the future, and the more cars I've been seeing, they all look like the cars that you think were gonna be in like 2000s, because that's how they imagined it. And when you think about it now, maybe that time is slowly coming. And I like how the aesthetic generally of Cyberpunk has changed, because before when it came out, I mean, it was inspired of the things they had and how they looked. But obviously now in a sense they're adjusted because of the, you know, flat screens and all of that, all of those little details that actually do change kind of how you think of Cyberpunk and different versions. So I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that episode of The Simpsons when Homer designed the car?
Yeah. I was just
Confident
watching a
America.
picture of this yesterday.
Oh, I think I remember. That's true.
It's like the most atrocious thing you can imagine.
Yeah. But now everything is gonna change. Everything regarding the future and how we're moving more and more into cyberpunk. I mean, we are, as I always say it, we are in cyberpunk, in that version of cyberpunk, because of everything that's happening in the world right now. But it's definitely like I've been seeing more and more how like generally everything has been changing, from, as you said, furniture and everything. And even though like cyberpunk will definitely maybe leave some impact on the interior design, and maybe some people are inspired, but it's changing.
Usually trends
Yeah.
trends in the mainstream are created by observation of trends in the underground and the things that are successful, and then they come to the mainstream again, and it's something cyclical. So if enough people, it seems that people usually mix cyberpunk with outrun and synthwave. And all this together right now is becoming really trendy. So I believe it's been like, it's like they are going to release the game in the best moment possible. It's like stars aligned in a way that the release of Cyberpunk 2077 just is going to, be on the middle of a cyberpunk revival on the mainstream. And not only people starting to start listening to bands like Carpenter Brute and all that are these retro wave that was more or less inspired on Cyberpunk. It's really different. But nowadays it's something that is mixed together. And also bands on the mainstream like Muse doing video clips inspired in Max Headroom and with cybernetic implants and with lyrics that are super, super rocker boy, because, Matt Bellamy is a rocker boy. He's always been. And we are reaching a point where cyberpunk is becoming really, really mainstream. And obviously, I believe that this was very difficult to predict when they decided to make a video game of cyberpunk I guess around 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it does. It's like I feel like all the stars aligned for that.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Because I remember when the Ghost in the Shell film, the actual like film came out. Who was the main actress there? Scarlett Johansson, I think so. Hideo Kojima actually made an article where he said like why this Ghost in the Shell didn't succeed, and yeah, on one side the film is, but generally,
The film is crap.
yeah,
It's horrible.
But when you look at it at that time, it wasn't really Cyberpunk wasn't really present that much, and he had a good point because he said at that time when the original Ghost in the Shell animated film came out, technology like the internet and everything was in a sense new, so people didn't know what it was and all the dangers and what it can be in the future, so they gave you this future. And now we're kind of, we already know much about it, it's a part of our lives, but now as more hacking is present and whatever crazy stuff is happening in the world, it makes you think like, okay, this stuff is definitely becoming relevant again. And I think actually, yeah, as you said, maybe the stars did align for them that this might go huge.
You know that Hideo Kojima likes to think that he's very deep. And he likes to think that it's very deep and everything has a deep reason. But you enter into Twitter when the Ghost in the Shell is in the theaters and everybody's saying the film is shit.
Yeah.
You're not going to spend the money to go.
Yeah.
I believe that there's no super deep reason there. The film was very bad, and as such, people started to say how bad it was, and the rest of people didn't want to watch it. It was way more. I believe it was way more simple because when it was out, everybody was on all the socials and everywhere saying, "Oh my god, this film is so bad." Because it was bad.
Yeah.
They would have done
they dropped all the
all these. Sorry.
Sorry, I was just gonna say they dropped all the like philosophical and like thoughtful elements of the movie and just made it some sort of Hollywood action knockoff kind of deal, right? That was
super beautiful. That was super beautiful. So what Kojima said in that article that you're mentioning, maybe if the film was good, I would think he had a point. But the problem is that the film was bad, so I don't need more reasons to start philosophizing about why people didn't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, because if it was like a great film and it was like, and it didn't really catch much attention, then yeah. And when you look at other films, if you look at Red, man, that film deserved the trilogy of how good it was. That like the first film.
Yes, I believe that the problem with Red. Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you all the time. Sorry, Cole.
Oh no.
Well, let me just add this. Like, I think that some of these films it just boils down to like marketing. I don't think Ghost was marketed correctly. I as much as I don't think I'm not on the bus that I think Scarlett Johansson shouldn't have played it. Excuse me. But I think that it was just marketed poorly. And it wasn't really marketed to the fans. It's the mistake that so many people make when doing movies, and you like Star Wars, Star Trek, all these people have made this mistake constantly. Is like they're not advertising it to the fans of the thing. They're advertising it or trying to advertise it to the people that aren't the fans of it to try and make them fans of it, even though it's a gamble to begin with, and typically you lose your actual fans. And
yeah, but they don't care about losing your actual fans. If
that's
fans
the
are
problem.
more, it's money.
Yeah, no, that's the problem with Hollywood is they just don't they don't see that way, even though like there are better ways to do it. And as much as people hate the examples like Transformers, it's like Transformers said, okay, what do people like about Transformers? Like the as the toys as the kids. And Michael Bay happened to, nail it on the head. Well, they like explosions and going pew, 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 pew. And that's really all that the first couple movies had, is just like
the first couple,
explosions.
All of them.
Have
you seen the new Michael Bay, it's a movie on Netflix with Ryan Reynolds. I forget what it's called.
6 Underground.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's just unrelenting action. It's like Michael Bay on steroids, like cranked up like to 1,000.
But
check out the movie if you haven't seen it. It's like you want to vomit watching this movie.
Well, the worst thing about this man is that he's so lazy producing the films, and then you watch the action and you really don't understand what's going on because
It's
it's not
nauseating,
visually
yeah.
well explained. And you see Transformers, and you're seeing green screens that haven't been deleted in post production all the time.
Really?
Like, wow, this movie, cost millions. You could have removed the green screens. In fact, there is one scene. I think this is in Transformers too. There are Transformer jumps over a lot of screens of computers, and this isn't in slow motion. And you can see perfectly fine that half of the computers still have the green screen.
What?
So in post production, change it for the screen that shall appear in the film. Half of them, like, it's in slow motion. Slow motion. It's not a thing that you're going to see 1 second in. I didn't see it. No, slow motion. For fuck's sake.
Well, I mean, and this, but like they've still been a success, like financially, because that's all it is, and it's one of those things. Well, that's what you're expecting, and this is my point, is that when it comes to anime movies or any type of specific genre type movies, your goal is to stay to what people want and what is expected, and like to try to branch out a little bit.
But what people want is so dumbed down these days. Like, even we were talking
that's
about
also
this
true.
last time. The top 10
Well-
games of 2019 were like 6 of them were Call of Duties. It's like, you know what I mean? It goes to every single entertainment
Yeah.
kind of industry where reality
But-
TV is the most popular, and games like Call of Duty and then Michael Bay films. It's just, those are the popular trends. It just means that it's mindless entertainment, right? You're on autopilot watching these things or playing these things.
Well, it's
The
like I
thing is
said.
that sometimes when these things happen, the thing is that the people on the production side, the people that put the money to make all this, and they see the products like money-making products, they believe they know what people want. They believe they know what people want. Doesn't mean that they are, an actual research behind this assumption to prove that it's for real. They believe they know, and they are repeating formulas that have given them money in the past, because obviously they don't want to lose their money. It's an investment to make more money. And the safest way of doing so is always repeating formulas that they already know they work. And this happens in films, it happens in video games. That's why it's so difficult to say things that are innovative, because people don't want to risk their money.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that happens a lot. I can second that, because one time we were doing this workshop with this producer, and he owns like a huge production house here in the Balkan area. And I never heard of his movie, so I'm like, okay, you're here, but what did you make? And then he starts showing the films that he made. And it's like a zombie astronaut, blah, 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 those kind of films. I'm like, okay, I see the trailers, they're all cheap, horror films, action. I'm like, how the hell do you make money? And he's like, Asian market. They eat this stuff. I'm like, what? Yeah, so a lot of these like things, like cheaper horrors and stuff, they just end up on the Asian market and they sell for a lot of money. So that's why they're a thing. I didn't
There
know.
are a lot of. The other day, someone put on Twitter a priest that was bitten by something, and he had the superpower of become a dinosaur to fight crime. That he used the power to fight crime, and I was reading the review, and I was thinking, I need to watch this.
That sounds
I
epic.
need this in my life.
This sounds awesome, but this is what I'm saying is, like, you have two different types of like ways to, like, you look at I used this example yesterday with Last Known, in that we have, like, so you've got McDonald's, right, and the people who run McDonald's are billionaires, but the people who run like these exclusive like golf clubs and like
Allow me to interrupt you just for a second. The Velocipastor is called the film.
That's even better. I just cranked it up.
Put that into
10
chat,
notches.
because
Yes.
I can't figure out
Velocipaster.
any way to write that out or pronounce that properly.
Me neither. But
Velocipaster.
please go on.
But yeah, so you have McDonald's people makes billions of dollars, but so do like fancy golf courses and restaurants and stuff like that are super exclusive. They're exclusive because the quality is so high, and taking the cost of that aside and just looking at it, the pure quality, obviously the pure quality is better at the 5-star place than it is at McDonald's. But they're still the same thing. And this is kind of what when I think about like Cyberpunk and when I think about the games industry right now, it's like, yeah, Call of Duty is still one of the most popular games ever. 150 million people downloaded that stupid mobile game. It's complete trash, but for some reason, it gets that amount because it's just the utter and total crap that is that game. So it's like
So you will, like, obviously studios like EA and Activision will always make a bunch of money because they have a lot of IPs, established IPs. Keep that in mind, because especially the sports game and everything, and the monopoly of that, it's a very interesting topic.
Well, I think Ubisoft had record earnings this year. I was watching, I think it was CNBC, and it was mostly based off of microtransactions. So it works. It definitely works.
Yeah.
Do gamers like it? No. I mean, gamers that pay attention at least.
So basically, and what I really like about CDPR here is that they showed, not just them, but right now in this day and age that we live, a terrible day and age, they show that among those games, because after the Netflix The Witcher came out, like The Witcher 3 was like the top 10 games, and I looked at it, it was the only single player game there. The only game that doesn't have a multiplayer option. And then I think,
Which one?
The Witcher 3. Everything
Witcher.
Everything else was PUBG, Dota, CSGO, whatever. And then it made me think, so if CDPR wanted to maximize the amount of money they actually get, they could have easily went into loot boxes, maybe try to find a different way, but still they would have microtransactions. They would go into that, get money, but I don't think that right now they would actually be here where they are in this top 10 if they actually went that way and didn't deliver on an amazing game. So it does pay off in the end. So that's good. At least there are some positive cases. So we'll just have to see for the future how everything else is going to hold out. But I think the gaming industry is at a huge turning point because the big studios are going to be there, but the medium to small studios, there's going to be, I think, a huge cleansing and just maybe a resurgence of some new studios that we never heard about. So yeah, still, it's fun. Yeah, you see, we don't have a lot of topics to talk about regarding Cyberpunk.
We're talking about the Velocipaster, like it's gone downhill when we talk about that.
So I'm looking at this now, and this is like, I thought the premise was like amazing to begin with, but now it's even more so because it's not that he just uses it to fight crime; he also uses it to fight ninjas as well. And this, I think, coming from the same director, or there's a link that leads me to another movie called Killer Sofa, where a reclining chair becomes enchanted by a girl and starts committing crimes of passion. It's like,
what the hell?
Why do I want to see that?
Apparently there's just so many really interesting. I don't know how to. Oh my God! There's one called The Drone.
These would be those movies that would be in the weird section in Blockbuster back in the day. You know what I mean? It'd be that like fringe weird section in the back that smells weird, and you're just like, what kind of movies are back here? And you see Velocipaster and movies like that.
So there's another one called The Drone, and this is like a normal drone, like a normal like small little commercial drone that people fly around for fun. It becomes a deranged serial killer. It's like, really? Really? Has nobody heard of a bat? Like, seriously? I mean, wow. But I guess scary. these are comedies, so oh my, we've stepped into a whole another weird world with this.
Yeah, there's actually two questions. Like the first one is from, I hope this is Patrick. I hope. I'm sorry, man, if I haven't pronounced that name right. When you guess CDPR will publish new gameplay, so basically now, because the delay happened, obviously some of the things are going to be worked on, and I don't think we're going to get anything special anytime soon. like anything big.
I-
So yeah.
I think we're gonna get something small on Valentine's Day because they
Yeah.
normally do stuff on
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. It's just a holiday that means something to the crew there. Now, if we get nothing, it means that they're really, really busy and and really, really swamped. But we are going to get more stuff because they've also completed hiring their PR team. So they hired their North American one just recently. They've cemented. There was another one. I can't remember. I had the list open here and I lost it. But there was another one that was just hired and he or she came on just recently as well. So congratulations to all of their PR team that's getting a little bit more flushed out, which is really really nice and really really awesome. So
That's
you can the PR person for America, you can go and give her a hello. Just in her chat. Don't DM her because she's really busy, and her DMs are open for content creators and media people. So don't DM her if you're not legitimately one of those types. But do go and congratulate her for her position. She's the North American, so she's going to be very 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 busy. Put her link in the chat. But just give her Stephanie. Bayer.
better.
She is formerly of Blizzard, and I think that's probably
Disney.
a really good move.
Yeah.
So just go over, send her a nice congratulations. There's a couple tweets that she's done recently there. Just let her know that that this is good. I was looking at her history and I was like, oh yeah, she's pretty decent. She got a good head on her shoulders and she does a good job. So.
They took forever to fill that position too.
Yes,
I remember asking Lalea maybe even 2 years ago or a year and a half ago if there was anyone in the NA position of communications, and she was like, not that I'm aware of. So it just got filled, which is kind of crazy.
And people don't understand how stressful that job is and how important that job is. Yeah.
It's a lot of work. And you do have to be over at their Los Angeles studio there. They've got a very, very small studio. It's mostly for PR, but hopefully that'll. And they just finished it last year too, so
They got a fresh paint job.
Everything
sweet.
is coming in place. But didn't the last Valentine's image have some hints? Or was that
the
just
Cupid, right?
Yeah, the Cupid. Didn't that have something? Maybe even this one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still holding to that. We still have we still had some they still lined that up with some of their PR events last year with the little encoded messages, and I don't care how many people say, oh, it was just a coincidence. There's no coincidences with this stuff. Jeez.
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Because you never know. You never know. Wasn't even the release date for Cyberpunk was in that goddamn demo, 48 minutes, and we didn't see it.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Wait until the next demo.
That's true. Wait, do we know there's a next demo?
Well, that I guess it's going to be at some point.
According to websites, it's happening right now. But no,
well,
obviously,
that's speculation. That's speculation.
Yeah, nothing confirmed, guys. So far, so don't worry. Yeah,
I feel like we won't get anything on Valentine's. I don't know why. I just have this feeling because last year we got one image. Is that all we got?
Yeah.
Was the Cupid?
No, well, I think I believe that we will have a discount for the CD Projekt store.
Oh God, please no, please.
Screenshot the sky and
that would kind of make sense, but please no.
Yeah, just a top of the... No, even that would give a lot of hints. They can't even do show the top of the building and not the sky, like a screenshot from Cyberpunk, because people are gonna dig through everything, find where is that goddamn building.
They should show a snippet of the mini map, because apparently it's a cool 3D kind of representation of the city. So maybe a chunk of that'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Just throwing that up
But
there.
in one hand, I assume they don't they don't want to show many things. They want to reveal many things, but on the other, they need to do something to keep the hype going.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Though, do you think it's possible that the game is delayed again? Sun Servant? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, no. If they were this far out,
They can't delay the game another time. It would be too expensive for the company.
Yeah.
And they might not even need the 8 months, right? They just don't want to release it during summer. If that's what you're gonna say, Saib.
A little bit of that, but also like if they had, like they would have probably like made that, they probably would have already set that in motion when they did it the first time. So.
Yeah. I mean, technically anything can happen, but the chances of that happening and like the costs it takes, because you have to keep in mind every time the game is delayed, you have to calculate everything that has to go into that production, and that's a lot of money. If you have a lot of people working on it, some people work more, some people work less, you have to pay that and everything else. It takes a lot of money. So.
And not only that, all companies have mid-terms and long-term plans, and these plans also have to change.
Yeah.
You'd also probably piss off your investors.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason why, developers usually release games that are not finished, because finish them is too expensive for the company.
Yeah.
And also to make it into a very specific release window. Yes. It's not only expensive because they have to pay for the people that's developing the game, but and also because they start receiving money from that game later, and all the projects that come after are delayed. So it's a great loss.
Yeah. So I think, everything else, they also said, like, obviously the multiplayer is gonna be pushed back because of this delay. That makes sense. I wonder how much is that going to reflect on their other projects that they're planning. I mean, obviously it is a long-term plan, but we'll see. Especially that Spoko company. Is it Spoko?
Spoko, yeah.
Yeah, that goddamn company. Do something.
Yeah, let us know.
Tweet.
Tell us something. Yeah.
Imagine if they just go beep one day. Like, God damn it, here we go. That was wild. That was actually wild. When that first beep happened, I remember it was like, because at that time we didn't know anything. There was nothing, no media presence, no Twitter presence, no trailers, nothing. We just had those 3 videos. Jeez.
Oh, something very funny happened the day of the beep in my channel.
What?
Because the day of the beep, out of a pure coincidence, because I obviously didn't know this was going to happen, it's the day that I put the first commercial out from the series of commercials that I was doing. And some people took it. Like, I mean, I didn't say anything about it. I just put the video out, and then in the middle, a commercial, I believe it was the Raven Microcybernetics one. I'm not sure, but I believe it was this one. That was done with footage of Deus Ex. I mean, I thought it was very clear that was unofficial, but people started to go crazy, and some went to Reddit to say that the marketing campaign started on my channel, and some even went as far as coming to my channel to say, hey, she's saying that the marketing campaign started in her channel, but this is a lie. Like, I just tried something. I just didn't know that was going to happen.
Well, that didn't have a good turn.
Well, it's kind of a compliment if people think it's official.
Yeah, I mean, one hand.
Well, the part that the people may think it's official, it's a compliment. The part that they didn't watch the video, but they take for granted that I'm lying when I didn't see anything at all.
The internet.
Yeah.
How things can go out of proportion. Can't pronounce that very easily.
I also remember the E3. That E3, I went to E3, and then I made a video saying that I was going to E3 super happy, and then I was putting the subtitles. Then I put the subtitles in Spanish that I did later than I released the video a couple of hours after, and I was watching the video and I was thinking, oh my god, I look like shit. I look like shit. I took the video down and I thought, well, tomorrow we'll do another video because I honestly look like shit. And the next day when I woke up, I had one of the moderators from the Cyberpunk Reddit asking my my main moderator on Discord if CD Projekt Red took down the video because I said something that broke my NDA. And I was like, what? What NDA? what?
Did you false claim an NDA, Madqueen? Did you pull a he who shall not be named? Did you pull one of those?
Oh yeah, I have two NDAs for the weekend, another for the weekdays. Not one, two, because I'm cool like that. By the way, and for people listening, obviously no, joking. I'm not under NDA. Why would I be? I know nothing. But yeah, people took it. I mean, I just took the video down because I thought I looked like shit. But people went crazy theorizing about what happened with the video.
Oh my god.
The conspiracy theories, they come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
the amount of stories and like when you're growing up and you hear all those stories about YouTubers knowing this, knowing that, I actually at some point I even actually believed it. And then actually when I got into YouTube and I started doing videos and when the channel, got more views and everything, people are like, you definitely know everything about Cyberpunk. I wish, but no. Like what's going on with the development, no. Doesn't really go that way. Trust me. No matter, you can have 10 million subscribers, that's still an internal thing in the company. So, yeah. But yeah, I think actually...
Vince had a question.
Yeah.
He says, what will be the CDPR game in 2021? Cyberpunk DLC or something else? So they've claimed that it's Cyberpunk the multiplayer. That's their next AAA game, and it's no longer coming out in 2021. I think it might.
They said the
still...
most probably 2022.
Pushed, yeah, it's been pushed.
Because they need at least 1 year to release expansions that are expected, at least a couple.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah, before they go on to that, so that's cool. And now did they say like in the end there's gonna be a separate thing, like a separate?
I don't think they explicitly said that, but we're kind of assuming.
Yeah.
Well, they said that they were working on 3 things of Cyberpunk. One is 2077, the second is the multiplayer, and the third.
Spoko do something.
Because I don't think that they are working on the expansions already.
Yeah. No.
Because I believe that the safest bet is that the expansions are going to be done by the same team that is going to ship the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, also you have to think about, obviously not everyone is gonna work like all of the people, but majority of people that do actually work on the main thing do work on the expansion. That's why those expansions are so good.
That's why they're like full games in themselves.
Yeah. Like Blood and Wine, I was like, a lot of studios would release this as Witcher 4. A lot of studios. Yeah. And so that's why they kind of do differently, and that's good for the industry. I guess, I mean, for them, but also for the industry to show that things can be done the other way around. There was one more question, if I can find it. Yeah. Will Cyberpunk 2077 inspire you guys to get anything future-related in real life? Mine is a Johnny Silverhand hologram. Do you have those? I don't know. Future, like...
Mr.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Stud.
Probably finish the LED wirings in the room to be the full RGB when the game comes out.
RGB is life.
Oh yeah, now it's become so easy to do this. It's crazy. And yes, so some of the things that you only saw on like as you're growing up and you see all those cyberpunk genre films and you see all those neon lights and lights in general, and now we copy them with LEDs. So that's cool. And also because we touched on the topic of cyberpunk in real life, because, well, I don't know how it is in your countries, but because, well, my country is not really the most advanced one, in a sense, you can really, really see that cyberpunk vibe to it, because you're going to see a small house, nothing special, but inside a huge TV, a huge 50-inch TV, and it doesn't get more cyberpunk than that.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Like you have cookie cutter houses that are like kind of standardized, and then inside you have like all this vibrant technology kind of deal.
Oh, that's the thing. We don't have those standard housing. That's the problem here. Everyone has their own style. It's terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's terrible. All of these. It's like if anyone with the OCD came to our like suburbs and everything, they were like, "Oh, we're so pissed." So yeah, it's but you can notice that, and that's just. I don't know if your countries though. How it is.
Not so much. I think mean the UK definitely has that. Like all the other houses are like brick and they look the same.
Yeah.
And then I guess inside they, everybody has their own technology, 50-inch screens, whatever, computers.
Let's see.
Someone is asking a question in the comments. Says, have CD Projekt Red ever commented on controlling aircrafts in Cyberpunk 2077? Well, I'm afraid that we are going to see AVs in the game, but we won't be able to drive them. The same with boats. There are boats in the game, but we won't be able to drive them.
Yeah.
They'll be part of story moments, though. You'll be able to be a passenger in an AV during missions.
Yeah, probably so.
And I guess in boats as well.
Yeah.
But when they mention boats, I am obviously. What do you have on the sea next to Night City? The Orbital Air Island. What do you do when you go to Orbital Air? If it's not for going to Orbital Air, why do you want to get into a boat?
Oh, that's an interesting point. Can you
go fishing?
Maybe infiltrate on the docks, something like that?
Yes, but if you have a quest in Orbital Air and it's not related about picking one of their crafts to go to this shoebox hanging in low Earth orbit and from there to somewhere in space, namely Crystal Palace, doesn't make a lot of sense that you go to the Orbital space station.
And that is on the map, right? It even says in the
Yeah.
So, Madqueen, you are again in the end maybe explore that place. Fine.
Well, everybody was assuming that if we had an orbital Earth space station, we would go into space, at least on the expansions, on these expansions that we're all expecting. But in this interview, what was with the lead of the Quest team, with Pavel Sasko, he said, we had boats, and this is a part of the story, and you won't be able to drive them, but I don't want to say anything else. It was like, what do we want the boats for? Where are we going with these boats? There's only one place. Literally. Because on the other side, there's the Badlands. No boat there.
Oh my god. I swear to God, if Pavel is watching this blog, like, oh my god, no. Not again.
Maybe if you take the boat far enough, you can get to Skellige.
Well, people will be happy. They maybe have their series Easter egg.
Their crossover,
yeah. Yeah.
Someone has to mod that in.
Oh yeah. Also, they didn't talk anything about the mods though. That's been a bit quiet. So I mean, the modding toolkits. So hopefully that's gonna be on track. Please.
There was weren't you guys talking about a mod yesterday on your other podcast? It was a Fallout mod or something?
So Fallout 4, there's a series of mods. It's not just one mod, it's a series of mods that people have now been able to like compile to recreate a very, very cyberpunk experience within Fallout 4. Like, extremely so. The video is amazing. Like, they're playing music from the game, so that helps a lot. But they also have, like, lighting textures and a whole bunch of other things, and it just looks like cyberpunk. And because Fallout 4 features the synths, and there was a lot of, like, already, like, you know, android-type looking bodies, it was absolutely hilarious. And it was just absolutely, like, gorgeous to see this, like, build-up of I don't know what to say, like characters and styles to come together to like give you this like Cyberpunk experience. And yeah, I think we're gonna start seeing a lot more mods in that category going forward, and a lot more like combinations of stuff. So that's hilarious and awesome, especially for me. So I was like, all right, yeah. So
Is there
it's
like an
pretty awesome.
official? Is there like a trailer for this where we can like kind of see the overview of it, or is this just?
There is a video, but it was tied to their like webpage, so it was.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of time. As I said yesterday, someone's gonna mod Cyberpunk into games. We saw it with Minecraft first.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, and then with this, someone's gonna get so pissed. He said, "All right, I'm porting the game to Fallout 4. You're gonna have it." But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Do we have any questions? So don't everyone who has a question about Cyberpunk, please do write it, because we don't have that many official topics or news to talk about. This delay is like, oh my god.
Yeah, we don't have much to talk about these days, so we have to rely a little bit on questions.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
if you guys have anything,
That's true. It's like,
And this is a threat. If you don't ask questions, I may start with my theories. So please ask questions for the good of everybody.
V of Rivia, I didn't miss much. Welcome to the podcast. We didn't have any official news. There is nothing at the moment, so we're just having fun, chilling a bit, talking about Cyberpunk related and some stuff that's not Cyberpunk related, but yeah.
kind of Gamey had a good question. When is the wall running Cyberpunk game coming? Are you talking about Ghost Runner?
Oh yeah,
And I don't know if there is a release date for that
No,
yet.
there's not a release date for Ghost Runner.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna come out late 2019.
No,
Is that the
they have
original?
they had a release date for 2020, but they never said when.
Ah, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's still 2020. I mean, generally, so hopefully. But yeah, it's a definitely fun game. I know some people asked us to also, when there's a lack of stuff, to also cover some of the games that are Cyberpunk related, but not Cyberpunk 2077. So Ghost Runner is another game that I'm definitely looking forward to. I know about you.
And yes, I'm going to be covering Ghost Runner.
Yeah, because it's a very
I'm
interesting
going
concept.
to do some things about Ghost Runner that I'm already preparing, and you will see.
Yeah. Because the entire game is like in one mega building. The entire
Yeah.
game.
Yes.
And then people say like, "Oh, the map is small." No.
It's more of like more of a skill based thing. Right? It's more like Twitch reaction times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it's a much more hardcore game. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
and it's in production is way smaller than Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's like one hit and you die. So you gotta.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know how to like. What's that game? That you also have like a bunch of weapons. It's like just a hack and slash. Shadow something. I don't know.
Ruiner?
No, not Ruiner.
Oh, it's a
I
slasher
can think
type.
about 40 games with that description.
Shadow Warrior. There we go. Shadow Warrior. It's something similar to that, but in a cyberpunk universe, and you have a really cool ass sword. I mean, katana.
We had
in a
somebody-
sense,
Yeah, we had somebody asking about Shadow Warriors because there's a remake or new game coming. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. Another question here from, I want to get to this one before it goes away. Do you think we'll be able to become exotics? This coming from Nikoro Tondo, 1991. Or have access to that type of modifications?
No.
Probably not at release because it's a lot of extra everything. Like,
No,
it's-
officially they said that no.
Yeah, it's just a lot of extra everything as far as like animations, like tons of like anytime you start doing that kind of stuff, you're gonna have to like go and add in tons of additional stuff. It's also something that would be kind of I think it would be fairly like culturally fatty. So I think in the 2020 it was more of a common fad, and that if you were to do it in 2077, people would be looking at that going, so, you know, kind of looking at you like if you were walking around in like 1950s, you know, style and aesthetic here, right? Is you would just kind of people would look at it and go, what's wrong with you? But I think if they release modding tools, yes, the answer to that will be yes. Modders will add the ever living crap out of the game, and that'll be something that is highly sought after, for its various roleplay mechanical possibilities.
I'm sure there'll be exotic NPCs in the game. You just won't be able to make your character have those attributes and features.
And they also said that that was going to be something not very common.
Yes, yeah.
I would like to answer a question from Johnny that
Please.
I would love to know if you think there's realistic chance to have nano blades like Jensen has in Deus Ex in Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think so, because I'm sorry that you don't like the Mantis blades, but the original Mantis blades, the original the design for the Mantis blades was the nano blades. And they changed it because it was too generic. It was insanely generic. And they were trying to do something that was more specific of Cyberpunk 2077. So I don't believe that they are going to be later implemented in the game. I believe that I am sorry you don't like them, but I believe you're the only one. Everybody loves them. Basically because they're way more organic. And when you, in the future, when you think about cybernetic implants, you have to think that they're going to be designed in a way that they are inside the skin and they have to be comfortable and be organic. The nanoblades are not that realistic in the sense of putting them out, in and out of your arms.
Okay.
And Devon asks, favorite cyberpunk band or artist? All between Set Dweller and Dance with the Dead. Someone asked about cyberpunk artists. Cyberpunk means rocker boys that defy authority. It's not synthwave. Synthwave is called cyberpunk because it has this retro aesthetic, but the cyberpunk music goes from Rage Against the Machine to Muse. Everybody that sings about, I don't know, Uprising, the song Uprising by Muse, that's a very cyberpunky song. But it's not a very specific style. It's not only only synthwave, although most of the soundtrack that we heard so far from Marcin Chubovic, and also what PT Check does, I believe that I'm not sure, but I'm starting to see the difference in the style of them too, because I used to confuse them. And PT Check sounds a little bit more industrial, and Marcin Chubovic sounds a little bit more organic. And it's kind of synthwave-y, but what they are doing for the game, at least what we heard so far, and was very interesting.
Yeah, the music is definitely gonna be a huge part of the game, and not just the music that you have in the car or during the whatever cutscenes, but also everything that goes along in the ambience, the ambient music and sounds. That's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, here.
And don't forget, we have all those artists from that trailer.
Oh, yeah.
ASAP, Grimes,
Oh yeah.
Nina Kravitz.
I mean,
Who else?
yeah.
Deadly Hunter. Yeah.
If anyone's gonna try and bring this universe maybe to people who never experienced it, maybe they can, because they're huge artists, and I'm guessing there's gonna be people who don't know anything about it, so they're gonna be like, okay, this is interesting, what is this? So it's like a huge promotion for the game when you think about it. I mean, you do, obviously, all of these people cost a lot of money, but it's also a form of the promotion for the game. And they're not only there for promotion, honestly. Most of them do a lot of experimental stuff in their own fields. So that's cool.
I am dying to hear a song made by Marcin Chubovic with Tina Gu. Both together.
Yeah.
Same song.
Oh
my god. Oh my god.
That's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
I'm mostly, I don't know why, but I'm mostly excited about the music we're gonna see in the nightclubs because of Nina, because I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
It's like 80% of the game just me chilling in the club, like mission street stories. Yeah, nah. Just gonna chill
Just
out.
raving. You're just raving by yourself.
That's. This is are Bozo's Gan confirmed for Cyberpunk? Yeah, I mean, for sure.
No, they are not. They are
Yeah.
not officially.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, they are not. But they're CD Projekt. If you don't put them in a game, there's going to be a riot. And you know that. There's this thing that happened with the delay. Nothing. That's nothing. That will happen if we don't have the Bozos in the game.
I'm so curious to see what their updated look would be.
Yes.
Well, imagine all of them being like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Right?
That'd be cool.
Right?
I really hope not. I have trust into the designers of Red.
I mean, are they gonna have heavy cyberware? Or are they gonna be more traditional, kind of from the source material? Probably not, because that design is pretty dated. But
yeah, but you can imagine a mix between both, because they don't dress like clowns. They bioscope themselves as clowns.
True. Yeah.
And they're very random. They're so random. Just a random encounter with a bozo would be amazing, honestly. Just this guy, coming to you in the street, like, you gotta see this. And it takes out, there's like a bunch of, I don't know, somethings, cans, and he's like, look at this. I went to Claptrap for some reason. For me, Claptrap is a bozo, yeah.
I want a bozo to make me a balloon animal. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Well, it will have acid on the inside also.
Yeah, probably.
Here one also the question, what do you guys think the katanas and swords will look like? Well, you're not really gonna have swords in this game, but yeah, katana is confirmed, obviously. We had it in the gameplay demo. There was that cutout in V's apartment of the katana, so I'm guessing normal katana.
We've kind of seen it in that action figure too. There's like a male V action figure, and it's like a big pink. Looks kind of weird, to be honest, but.
Yeah, we've covered what we think that is.
So just normal.
Well, it also reminds me that I have a question for all of you because I would really like to know your opinion now that we talk about the Funko toys. So you know that there is one of the toys that is Johnny Silverhand with a couple of guns. Did I say that before?
I think we've talked about this before, but
we talked about it. Did we?
What?
Yeah, we did.
I don't know what that.
Johnny Silverhand in one of the toys has 2 guns. If he's an engram and he lives inside V's head,
yeah,
why does he needs a couple of guns for?
Maybe it's just figurine.
Maybe it's just stylistic for the figurine. Maybe
Really?
I don't know.
Because I don't.
Are we sure about that?
But then
I'm like 80.
I mean, why would he have anything in his hologram? Like, why
Because
would he have
it's the residual image he has of himself.
Huh.
But guns?
Huh.
Because it's likely that he's wearing the clothing that he died with.
Maybe he's flashback Keanu.
Aha! Aha! Aha!
Flashback.
Maybe he's brain dance Keanu.
Aha!
Is that what you wanted to hear, Madqueen?
Yeah!
So I think I've gotten a bit of a better understanding as to why he's not blonde, and that I don't think his original hair color was blonde. I think that was just dyed because, again, fad in the 80s, right? So, yeah, that's what I think it is.
Staying up the trends, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Pondsmith said it was blonde, now it's dark haired. So what? That was exactly what Mike Pondsmith said about it. So. So I'm not going to look for an explanation. But yeah, I was expecting Johnny Silverhand to be blonde because obviously, I mean, let's be honest, I expected Johnny Silverhand to be the game.
Yeah.
Who,
in some form.
I believe that everybody who knew who Johnny Silverhand is, you expect him in a Cyberpunk video game. I mean,
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Not like this, but I expected him to be somehow in the game. And I expected him to be blonde.
I just had a thought. You know that image that we think is now Takamura, the guy who's walking up to the junkyard or
Yes.
whatever? There's Kerry Eurodyne posters in the world, right? Could that possibly be him? Except he's got facial hair, and I don't think that dude does.
No, he has very specific, and it's not like that.
Oh, okay. Theory shut down.
And that was actually a double reveal when it happened, because at first, like, oh, it's Johnny Silverhand. It's like, oh, it's Keanu.
I want to die. Flop.
And I love the people who are not really covering Cyberpunk and they just watch the trailer and they react to it. It's like, it's John Wick.
Yeah.
Well, I shall say in defense of all the Spaniards saying that is that there's a meme in Spain, and something that is Johnny Wick means that something kicks ass.
Oh, nice. Actually, nice.
Makes me sad
So
no one called him Neo though. It's not like,
So
hey,
it
there's
went-
Neo.
Typical thing of this is Johnny Wick or John Wick means that he kicks ass. So it was the perfect thing to say when Keanu Reeves came out of the stage for everyone that uses this meme. But the funny thing, when I saw him, I didn't understand him as Johnny Silverhand because headcanon blonde.
Oh,
Really?
oh.
He had
And
a
I only
silver
saw
arm.
Keanu Reeves, and I went tried it again. I was like, oh my god, it's Johnny Silverhand. He's not blonde. Where is my headcanon?
Oh, yeah, as you said, Neon, like no one said it's Neo. Yeah, times have changed because you know how I know that?
I know.
Whenever there is a film or a series in like this fantasy setting, they're like, oh, it must be a Game of Thrones ripoff. Before it was Lord of the Rings, so times have changed a lot.
Yeah.
I think Rotten Tomatoes or some website did a what's the best movie of like the last generation, and Lord of the Rings, the third one was the winner. Like, I forget the name of it. King something. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings in so long.
The third film.
The third one, yeah.
Oh,
The Return of the
Return of the
King.
King.
Yeah,
Return of the King. Return of the King. Yeah.
Oh man, the great films.
I'd like to answer a question of kinda gamey.
Yeah.
It says, don't you feel like CD Projekt Red would offer some footage or something in exchange for delay? They don't owe us anything for the delay. I mean, why would you like to treat people like they owe you something? Owe us anything? I mean, if they do put some footage out, well, fantastic. But they delayed the game because it's not finished.
Yeah.
So I don't know how do you guys think, but I think that please focus on the game and finish it.
Yeah.
And if it means less footage and less other things to watch, I don't care. I want the game.
Yeah. It would have been nice if I think when Red Dead 2 was delayed, they had the delay statement and then they had like 3 or 4 screenshots or images. I think it would have been nice to get some of those along with the delay to kind of soften the blow, maybe.
Yeah, that I would have highly recommended that.
But
Like something new, anything really.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Maybe they were too depressed to think about it because it's like, oh, fans are depressed for that. How do you think developers feel about it?
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, it's understandable. It's just,
Yeah.
a potential that they could have done.
well, maybe in the future it's gonna happen. But that is, I mean, again, I think even if they posted, I think most people would just focus on the delay. They wouldn't really pay much attention on the screenshots, in a sense.
But then when the disappointment wears off, at least you have something to look at. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well, then release the screenshots when the disappointment falls off.
Well, I want to point this out. What you're suggesting, what it's not really been done. Everybody knows what the stereotypical treatment of a delay announcement is, and it's like, hey guys, sorry we're delaying, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Nobody ever tries to like, hey, we have to delay, but here's an update video on our progress.
Yeah.
Nobody's really tried that, and for the life of me, I don't know why. Because it's like
That's quite dangerous. That's super dangerous. Because
not
first,
really, because it hasn't been tried.
But think about it.
I feel like it has the opposite effect because all we've seen is demos with the work in progress bar at the top. If we see something that's a little bit more, I guess, concrete of what they're going to release, because obviously they've had the developmental process go on since then. I think
Yeah,
it's
but
more
imagine that
reflective of
whatever
what
they
we
show,
would.
then it change for
Yeah.
whatever the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super dangerous to do.
No, I don't think so, because it's not been tried. You don't know what the reaction of the community will be, because there's been nobody who's actually sat down and actually given this a try.
The moment that you find people that is making the following comment, oh, CD Projekt Red, they are bad people because they made Keanu Reeves go out on stage and lie. The moment that is people so short-minded to make this kind of comments, I think it's risky. Because
I
people
think
is short-minded.
you're always going to have those people, and what I would say to it is that it's like, well, you have to just give it a go. Like, that's really all it boils down to, is you just have to try. And
Yeah, and what if you got would you have a horrible result? I don't know if I would try, to be honest.
Maybe some general images.
I think I would suggest, again, nothing like too huge, but again, I would highly recommend that somebody try it, because it's the stereotypical thing is not the thing that people are happy with anymore. They don't like having the that kind of piecemeal response, where it's the same old. People get annoyed with that. They get really upset with that, and it's like, well, what's the harm in trying something different for once?
I mean, if you release a demo, that can be catastrophic, right? But if you have a couple images that are just stills of the world or whatever they decide to do, I mean, the potential for that to be, backfire is a lot less. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I would like to see the Badlands.
Yeah.
I would love just a screenshot. Nothing too specific, just general feel in a sense. That would be
Just
cool.
a random building out in the Badlands.
Yeah.
Take what we can get.
I mean, yeah, unconventional. When you look at unconventional releases, you look at Apex Legends, for example. That game was just, here you go, out of the blue. So in a sense, it worked. I mean, obviously they had issues with development and updating stuff. That's a whole nother story. But the initial shock, like just the shock factor in a sense. So that was, I mean, obviously you can't really do that with every game, especially when you have something like Cyberpunk. You can't really just put it out there out of the blue. You have to also market that to people to understand, okay, what is this game going to be about? Because a lot of people are comparing this to GTA, and it's not the same. Don't expect the same experience at all, like playing GTA and playing Cyberpunk. So yeah.
Oops, sorry.
No worries. There was a question. Oh yeah, Ali, the microtransaction part. Yeah, we also discussed, like, monetization does not mean microtransactions. Monetization, like, we're monetizing our videos in a sense, but we don't have microtransactions. Monetization is basically, gaining money from your product. Different ways to gain money from your brand or your product. So it doesn't. But yeah, I understand why even at first people like jumped a bit, because whenever monetization is, it's always closely tied to microtransactions.
It's funny, because if they would have just said, we don't know how we're going to make money, instead of the word actual monetization, it probably would have had maybe a different result. But it's just like that little discrepancy between the two that just gets blown out of proportion. It's weird.
Of course. Katya asks, hey, do you guys think that the weapons would be all modern, or do you think that they'll have weapons like the old guns category from the source material? Who wants to jump on this? We're gonna have smart weapons. Yeah, we're gonna have smart weapons.
Yeah, so the old weapons that were around in 2020, the old school weapons, will now be classified as the ancient weapons that are, akin to you using a blunderbuss or a self-packing black powder gun in today's era. Because why would you want to use something that's 100 years old? I mean, really, I mean, I'm being a little facetious and a little silly, but still, it's like, yeah, no, I mean, there's some older weapons. You know, last time pointed out, you're gonna have the samurai. You're gonna have the some other like melee weapons. I mean, hell, what's her name uses a literal sledgehammer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not that it's like nothing, but it's also like, well, why would you want to use a 9mm, especially when it's like the average body armor that you can pick up for yourself, like the average like dermal armor that you can pick up for yourself. I mean, that's going to stop like most weapons that are really old.
Mm-hmm.
So
At the same time, I think Mike Pondsmith stepped into the developmental process at one point and took a look at the weapons CDPR were making, and he said they were kind of too futuristic and sci-fi. He wanted them to be grittier and more kind of grounded. So in that sense, it might be, I mean, might feel like older, more familiar weapons.
Yeah.
And not, these big laser cannons and stuff like that.
Kind of fit in a sense, because this is not sci-fi. This is not how would I say, Star Wars. So
Yes,
you're gonna have more like, imagine if our world has moved on for 57 years. I doubt you're gonna have those sort of laser weapons you have in Star Wars, but you're gonna have like the weapons like of the similar design, but of course they're going to update how it looks, but it's still going to kind of feel similar how you shoot weapons. I shot them in 2020, and although did they have smart guns in 2020, or is that new, like the tracking bullets?
They do.
Ah.
They have the Kuroshi, lock on, which is part of the smart gun technology.
Because that weapon's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm not.
This is also like a world where they've had to like rebuild a lot, right? So it maybe not advanced as if the world was just hunky dory for 50 years.
And as much as I was poking fun at the idea, I can still use a good amount of weapons that are stored at museums to kill people. So I mean, really, when you think about it, it kind of levels out. I guess. What was that? Oh,
I mean, we saw the
a good cyberpunkish type movie was Demolition Man. You remember that one? Anybody remember Demolition Man? They had the fight in the museum because it was the only place to get guns at, and it was like they were using like a lot of these old school weapons, and then one of the guys used a literal like cannon at some point. So I mean, it makes sense, and it's a good question, and there's some really fun ideas that you can play with.
I mean, generally we saw the outlines of the weapons that they have, so they are kind of similar to the design that you think about right now when you see Colt, when you see those weapons. So, but they're still gonna have new features, obviously, with new characteristics. To guess new bullet types. Gonna go into specifics.
I hope they have a little bit of fun with it though, because in 2020 there was a lot of like meme weapons, stuff like that were just like crazy and zany, and you'd have a good chuckle when you see them.
Yeah.
But,
you gotta keep a healthy balance though.
Yes.
Because Saints Row is a perfect example. I like how they just started introducing crazier weapons with each sequel.
Yeah. I think that's what we were comparing the pink katana sword to something from Saints Row.
I will gladly rock the pink katana through Night City. Honestly, screw it. But we'll see. Any more questions? We've been going for 92 minutes. I think we can answer a couple more questions. God damn it, there's really little news.
There might be something. I mean, next week we said Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But we could potentially be talking about some new stuff.
If they love us, if anybody at CDPR loves us, they'll give us something to talk about. Otherwise, it's going to be digressing down to B movies and all kinds of stuff all over again.
There's a silver lining here, though. We didn't talk about Bethesda once today. So.
Oh my God! Don't call the devil! Don't call the devil!
Yeah, that's honestly like it's been fun to talk about them, but now it's like because 76 I'm talking about it. God damn it! But yeah.
Wait, is it your birthday? Someone in the chat says happy birthday last time.
Oh no, this is my friends are trolling me.
Okay.
It's on the 1st of December, people. So.
Oh, okay.
My
Well,
God.
I was thinking we already
No.
went through this to saying happy birthday to you without you being here because you were celebrating it with your family. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can try my best to do Marilyn Monroe. Happy
Please
birthday,
don't.
Why did you
Mr.
start?
President. But I think like general reaction's always been, hey, Sai, please shut up, please no, stop it.
People can only cringe this much, no?
Save that kind of content for your OnlyFans account.
So cruel, so cruel.
Okay. No worries, Katya. We try to answer as many as we can. This is an interesting question. Do you think the game will have some unique death system? I don't know if you're referring to V or are you referring to? I mean,
V, no,
yeah,
V.
I don't think that has been clarified until the end. What happens like after? Because you have the immortality chip in a sense, but I think you just die. Because I don't know how the game is gonna work in that sense.
Yeah,
Maybe
they've said like Trauma Team is not a part of that, so that's
Yeah.
you can cross that off. But
Yeah. I mean, what I like about like some RPG games is that when people attack you, they don't always kill you. I think that should be like, because that's the first thing I noticed in Gothic 1. They only kill you because they can finish you off if you actually kill someone. But if you steal something, they just knock you out. They get the stuff, steal everything you have, and then just let you go. Maybe it would be cool to have a similar feature in Cyberpunk, depending on the stuff, like you get robbed or something. It doesn't mean like instant death, just
yeah, you just
in a
black
sense.
out.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like in a deep dive when you just wake up, like Johnny wakes you up, and
Yeah.
after you black.
Yeah. So in a sense, I don't think it's probably just passed out there when that scene happens. So yeah, but that would be cool. Maybe the immortality chip works like the defibrillator. I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah, the immortality
cool.
chip right now is really a mystery. Like we have some ideas, but might be some version of Soul Killer, but still, we know nothing. We know Johnny's there, but who made it? What happened? Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, that's something I hope they don't reveal in the marketing. Obviously, for obvious reasons, it's like a big chunk of the story. Want to find that out when you're in the game, right?
Yeah. I would also go for the last question, and then we can probably slowly wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, just a flash question. The first thing that comes to your mind: which class you're gonna be on your first playthrough?
Ooh. I'm gonna go Nomad Solo. I'm leaning towards.
Yusuf?
Probably like the first thought off the top of my head is Nomad, like stealthy type, but the more I think about it, I might end up going Corpo for the first playthrough. It depends a little bit on like kind of like how release is feeling, then also like how it feels when I'm kind of like looking at stuff. So it'll also depend heavily based off of like visual customization as well.
Yeah,
because I am a sucker for character customization, and if it's like certain outfits are only available to certain backgrounds, then I'm going to be like, obviously only going this one then. So
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
you Madqueen said Solo, right?
Well, I'm going for. Originally, I thought about pure solo. I thought, well, I'm going to be one of those classes, pen and paper gamers that is going to go for a build that is a full on the character class. But then they started to show things about the net runners, and I thought,
And
well, so maybe not totally solo.
because I was a little bit confused there, because they presented Solo like full on, like going guns blazing, and then the Netrunner was more of a stealthy type. And at first I said I was gonna go kind of with the stealthy Solo, so maybe that's gonna work better if I'm a Netrunner or a techie in a sense. That Solo build, I don't know.
They didn't show much about techies, so
No,
I mean, maybe it will happen the same as it happens with the Netrunners with me originally. I thought Netrunner, But then they showed Stekis and it's like, oh my god, I don't choose. Everything is amazing. And this is what I'm afraid is going to.
Jack of all trades is always an option. Master of none, jack of all.
Yes, but the problem is if you pick a lot of skills, then you cannot specialize.
Yeah,
of course.
And that's always a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends.
It all depends on how much you can level up. Also,
Yeah.
sorry for interrupting.
No. Yeah, that's actually good. How much can you level up? But the thing is, because they said like individually skills were gonna be able to just increase proficiency. So in a sense, if you think, okay, maybe I want to go melee a bit, then you're gonna go train in a sense. So maybe take a lot of time, but maybe you can kind of max out a lot of things. But yeah, because not a lot of games actually let you like have everything to be the jack of all trades, because sometimes you have to specify in order to, let's say, do more damage, whatever, if you're playing an RPG. So
yeah.
So we'll see. But of course the game is gonna have multiple playthroughs, so I'm gonna go through every class that I can.
This is true.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, but yeah.
So then it might be more beneficial to specialize if you're gonna play it, 3 or 4 times anyways, with all the different classes to get the most out of each.
The worst thing is that I don't know how about you, but I can imagine this happening first time. Like, well, I'm going to do one thing, and in my next playthrough, I'm going to do a different one. Then start it all over again. It's like, oh, I still like the thing that I did. I'm going to do it again.
I'm definitely gonna get the worst ending possible. I know, every time.
I'm an expert on the worst ending possible.
I got the worst ending in The Witcher 3, so I wouldn't be surprised if I. The funny thing is, in Hearts of Stone, he actually, I'm not gonna say that because there's spoilers. Play Hearts of Stone, people.
Yeah.
Well, in the other one, in Blood and Wine, I was going back in my saves to know where was the bending point, because I didn't like the ending and I couldn't find it. And I went as back as I could. So now I'll have to play it again.
I
got the bad one.
The only good ending was Heart of Stone.
I don't remember the ending of Heart of Stone. I remember the ending. I mean, I have a very bad memory, but I remember the one of Blood and Wine because I remember going back and back and back. Like, what was the bending point? I don't like this thing.
I think Hearts of Stone your choice was more dependent towards the end. I don't think there was like a major pivotal moment that you could have messed up. I think it was towards the end. It was like easier to it's easier to get the good ending.
Yeah, you knew who to side with. Like in The Witcher 3, as you're going through like some of the things you say and do, it's like, you know those games that say like someone will remember that. I wish Witcher had that.
Yeah.
Because in the end, well, you did this, you did that. Now you gotta live with the consequences. Like, god damn it. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we get the good ending. Hey, click for gameplay. Welcome to the chat. He's also a friend. He does amazing videos around RPG games and mechanics. So check him out.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I think we should be wrapping this up. We've been going for over 100 minutes. Thank you everyone so much for joining each week when we don't have that many news. It means a lot for us, and thank you for liking, subscribing, and commenting. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Well, I believe that we should tell them where is the next podcast, which I guess is on the Neon. Is you?
Yes, it's on my channel.
I believe. I believe so. Yeah. So next week, the Cyberpunk 2077 Community Podcast, episode 47. We were so close to that number, Sip.
I know.
It's okay. We can get to 77 now.
Yeah, we're gonna try and get 77, which I mean, obviously is gonna take moving it just a little bit. It's just like about 3 extra shows. That's it. So yeah, we're gonna have some extra shows here or there.
Just go to Poland.
It's so frustrating because that was like one of those things where it was like like having that lined up and like taking the time to like line that up and having done all the things that I had to do beforehand to make that happen. It's like it's not easy to replicate. That's a master level move, and then somebody's just like, it's like playing a chess master, and then you like get the game, like you're about to do checkmate, and they're like, actually, we've decided to double the size of the board, and everybody gets an extra 20 units. It's like,
imagine just going up to Adam Kaczynski and it's like, we have a serious talk. He's like, what? Can we adjust the release date to match with the podcast by any chance? I would be
Ali is saying for the 77th podcast, either Mike Pondsmith or Martin Iwinski. Who do you want to kidnap?
How about both at the same time?
Actually, both would be amazing.
I was going to say that Martin Iwinski is thinner, probably easier, but he's also Polish, probably more difficult. So
my brain would explode. But yeah. Obviously, in the future we do have some guests lined up. We can't
probably they would start talking to each other. And we were all listening like, that's so interesting.
I wouldn't mind for like 3 hours of them. 3 hours, 5 hours.
Divulging all the secrets.
And
everyone has their notepad out, just scribbling furiously. Yes, continue.
That's true. But yeah, this was a fun podcast. I think we actually chilled out really, really well. It was more of a... nothing too hard on the news, but we still covered a lot of topics, and thank you again everyone for coming, and that's pretty much it. Next week actually
Sun Servant has just said one of the things that I think is brilliant, that they would love to join the trauma team, and I now have an idea for a mod called like Young Hearts Trauma Team Doctor Center. You play a smooth doctor who's trying to save people who are on the streets getting shot and cut up and diced up by weaponry all the time, and you're talking to that sweet nurse every day, and it's like, yeah, I think there's something to this. Sunset, you may have actually just given me my next mod idea.
Grey's Anatomy meets Trauma Team.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy meets Trauma Team. That's exactly what I was going for. This is perfect. Absolutely perfect.
But that's good for role playing in a sense, because GTA has that. Some of their servers, so it's like having a role-playing role-playing servers. Damn, that's interesting.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, dedicated servers only for role-playing. All right. Yeah, so next week is gonna be on Neon's channel, same time, and that's pretty much it. Thank you everyone for coming, and visit us. I have all the links down below for social media of every single one of us. Also from the music I included in the podcast. Also check out Peks. He's amazing. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.